friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. One of the biggest questions I get here at the old Wrestle Juice video thing is, Steve, who do you think is going to take the title or titles off of Roman Reigns? Of course, Roman Reigns is the current WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. And the big question is, who's actually going to take the titles off him? Is it going to happen at WrestleMania? Is he going to fight The Rock at WrestleMania? Who's it going to be? One of the obvious answers, Cody Rhodes is out there, right? Everybody's, oh, is it going to be Cody Rhodes? Well, not necessarily. I do think that there's a better option out there than Cody freaking Rhodes. And in fact, I came up with, nine options for people who could possibly take the title off Roman Reigns. I'm going to start at the bottom. And at the bottom is like possibilities, but not great possibilities. Like, yeah, okay, it could happen. Here's the case for it. And then as we go up the line, up the list, we get to closer and closer to what I think at this point, clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, is the best person to take the titles off of Roman Reigns. And look, and I'm going to caveat it with this. I don't want, by the way, I'm wearing a hat because it's Sunday and I didn't do my hair today. So I'm wearing a hat. So here's the deal. I get asked this question all the time. And one of the things that people will bring up is, well, Steve, what if they split the titles? How would you split that? I don't want them to split the titles before the titles go to somebody else. Once they go to somebody else, then the day after that, you can split the titles because at that point, the rub will be had. You can't build Roman Reigns with both these titles for this period of time and then not have them both go to one person who beats him clean. You can't do that. You've spent all this time building up Roman Reigns with both these titles with all the gold. The bloodline has all the gold. You can't do the thing where you have a ladder match or a triple threat or something stupid like that where somebody sneaks away with the WWE title, leaving Roman with the Universal title. That's dumb. I don't like it. Don't do it. You got all this rub right here, ready to go. And you gotta give it to somebody so they have that rub and they beat Roman Reigns. They have the powers of the bloodline at that point. Kind of like when Brock beat Undertaker. He had the powers of the Undertaker at that point. He just didn't use them. So anyways, let's dive into this. Number 9. Here's an off-the-wall idea. Kind of, not really. Somebody from AEW. Let's say Roman Reigns holds those titles, not just through this WrestleMania, but all the way into the 2024. And let's say a contract comes due in 2024, or some conditions on a previous contract come up. So I've got 3 names right now on this list. It's Aleister Black, it's MJF, who keeps on talking about this bidding war coming 2024. What bigger way to bring MJF into your company than having him beat Roman Reigns? That'd be huge. Or Kenny Omega. He's like one of the most loved guys in wrestling. I don't think anybody would complain. Besides Jim Cornette and Jim Cornette lovers. And probably a lot of other people would complain about Kenny Omega. But I would not complain about Kenny Omega. And I know a lot of people would love Kenny Omega to take those titles off Roman Reigns. Is it going to happen? No. What a dumb idea. Of course it's not going to happen. It's going to be somebody in WWE right now. Number 8, Johnny Gargano. Here's the thing about Johnny Gargano. One reason he's really low on this list. But it's clear as day that Triple H has always loved Johnny Gargano. And I wonder if it's because, and you can fight me on this in the comments, it's fine. I see a little bit of Daniel Bryan potential in Johnny Gargano. He is such a relatable, normal dude who is one of probably the top 5 wrestlers on the planet. I think that when he was booked with The Way, you could really see, oh, wow, that's what this guy could be. This is what Johnny Gargano can be when you really let him bring the comedy element, but with the really good wrestling and a lot of and some of the drama. You mix that with what we got with Ciampa Gargano, and oh man, I could see there being that level of Daniel Bryan in Johnny Gargano. As we know, Daniel Bryan was a multiple-time world champion in WWE. He'll probably be an AEW world champion at some point. He's a big, big deal. And I could see Gargano getting his WrestleMania 30 moment, maybe a WrestleMania 40. I don't know. I forget where they're doing WrestleMania 40.
WrestleMania is returning to Philadelphia.
So, yeah, Gargano. I think that's it's not terrible. I don't think it's going to happen. But just because I see a little bit of that Daniel Bryan, he would need more time to develop in WWE and become that Daniel Bryan level guy. But I could see that. I don't know why I keep doing this. Let's move on. Number 7. I'm just sort of get these guys out of the way here because people bring them up. And it's the current 2 mid-level champions, mid-card champions, Bobby Lashley or Gunther. I'm not saying they both beat him and they become co-champ. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that one or the other because there's similarities between these two guys. Right now, they're being booked as these kind of like mid-level world beaters. They're not Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar level world beaters, but they can beat everybody else that's sort of below them on that scale. Like Bobby Lashley just beat Seth Rollins. Did it take some distractions? Yeah, because Seth Rollins is actually on this list a little bit higher. Seth Rollins is a legitimate main event guy. Bobby Lashley can be used as a legitimate main event guy at any time. It's just he's been around so long that I don't know if all of a sudden people are going to be like, oh yeah, I buy him being the guy to take Roman Reigns. Yes, they could totally write it that way. They could absolutely write it that way because it's wrestling and it's fictional and you can just script it that way. I don't know if the audience would buy that at this point. I think anybody that isn't Roman Reigns, they would buy Bobby Lashley beating. I just don't think Roman Reigns, he's been built up so much that I just don't know if Bobby Lashley, who's already been established as a main event level utility player, a guy who is absolutely believable as an unstoppable US champion, if all of a sudden they pull the trigger and they're like, oh yeah, this is Bobby Lashley. It's kind of like, honestly, it's kind of like Drew McIntyre. I know we all just believed it at Cardiff, and I don't have Drew McIntyre on this list because he already tried it at Cardiff. And he seemed totally fine losing to Roman Reigns because Solo Sikoa created a diversion. He seemed totally fine because he was singing songs with Tyson Fury right afterwards. I didn't even put Drew McIntyre on this list. He had his chance, and he lost it. He blew it. Getting back to Bobby Lashley and Gunther, also Gunther. I don't know if the crowd is ever going to buy into Gunther as world champ. I hope they will, and I'd love to see them try to write that, but I don't know that I see it. I think that they're very good at their current sort of levels. And I'm not entirely convinced that Sheamus isn't going to win that Intercontinental Championship from Gunther in a couple weeks on that SmackDown season premiere. I think that's going to happen. Anyways, let's move on. So not the mid-card champions. Now we're in the realm of guys who I'm like, this next one I would love to see happen. I would love to see happen. I know you'd love to see it happen too. I don't think it's going to happen. In fact, he should probably be further down on this list. But how great would it be if the guy that sort of became the prototype of what the bloodline was founded on, manipulation, deceit, demagoguery, probably didn't use that word right, Jey Uso. He was the first guy that Roman Reigns made fall in line. He was the guy that showed that Roman Reigns would manipulate the shit out of his own blood, out of his own family. Jey Uso, he called the main event Jey. And he made Jey fall in line. He made Jey acknowledge him. And now look at Jey. He's angry. He's bitter. He hates Sami Zayn, this thing that isn't even family, but he sees Roman Reigns giving him love and attention. Jey would be such a great sort of end point, bookend, end game for this whole bloodline storyline because Jey is where it began. That would be fucking amazing. I just don't see it happening because he's already, but I get there in a bit. Anyways, Jey would be amazing, but I don't see it happening. I think there's some better options here. Next up, now we're in the realm of possibility. And we're like, oh, this could totally happen. Kevin Owens. Clearly, Kevin Owens has been one of Triple H's favorite. As Kevin Owens has noted recently, he literally was handed the Universal title by Triple H a couple years ago when he won it. God damn, that was like 5 years ago. Like 6 years ago. And yeah, Triple H loves Kevin Owens. Immediately upon Vince retiring, what did he do? He put Kevin Owens back to the prize fighter from NXT that we all know and love. He's the guy that Triple H wanted to push to the moon, and Vince McMahon kept on just sort of starting and stopping with them and stalling out, et cetera, et cetera. And so, like, yeah, that's Kevin Owens. But now that Triple H is in charge, it is completely clear that he is building Kevin Owens back up to be a main event level guy. I'll be honest with you, I think Kevin Owens is a franchise level guy. I've always felt, and it's so appropriate, that last year at WrestleMania we had Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, because I firmly believe that Kevin Owens has everything it takes to be that Stone Cold level guy. I really do, and I always get pushback for this comment. But Kevin Owens is relatable. He's a badass. He's tough as nails. He's a family guy. He's everything you would want in a modern day WWE champion. He's like not perfect in terms of like his appearance. Like he wears basketball shorts and a cutoff sleeve shirt. It's like, man, this guy is us. He is the everyman Kevin Owens. And you got to love that about the guy. And I know that's what Triple H sees in him. And I could totally see it being him. I thought they gave him a pretty good run against Roman 18 months ago, as he talks about endlessly now, being screwed out of taking that title off of Roman Reigns 6 months deep into his title run. And I could see them possibly revisiting that. They could easily get that steam back for Kevin Owens if he wins the Rumble or whatever. I don't know, fights Theory for the Money in the Bank thing. I don't know, but I think that Kevin Owens could totally be a guy that takes that title off Roman Reigns. If they opted to do so, they would be successful at it because Kevin Owens would absolutely kill it. Let's move on to another guy I think that has a good chance of actually beating Roman Reigns for the titles, and that's Austin Theory. I think that up until Vince's retirement, Austin Theory was quickly going nowhere. I don't think that he was on pace for being built up as a character, for people to care enough for him to successfully cash in Money in the Bank on Roman Reigns. I think that's the project right now. I think that's the idea right now with Austin Theory is, hey, let's build this guy up enough. Let's make us give a damn about him. That's why they have Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano in a storyline with him, so that he can be reminded of, hey, these guys are really well-rounded characters. That's the whole point of Kevin Owens' awesome inspirational speech promo to Austin Theory, to which Austin Theory simply responded with a flex of the bicep. He said, there's been a million of you guys coming through WWE, but guys like me and Gargano, we're few and far between. You're a dime a dozen. Prove me wrong. And then Austin Theory just shows him the bicep, not proving him wrong. I think the idea right now is to build those layers of character in there for Austin Theory so that when he does cash in, the crowd will give a shit, because that's what you need. You need the crowd to care when somebody cashes in for it to be successful, especially on what could potentially be the biggest cash in of all time. Certainly since Seth Rollins is cashing in on Roman Reigns. So if they have him do the cash in, like at this point, it should fail. But if you give him until, I don't know, WrestleMania season, whatever, maybe he'll have a chance. I don't know how they're going to pull. I don't even think they know what they're going to do with the actual cash in. I think they want to see if they can get Austin Theory to the point where people give a shit about him. And then they're going to make that decision. We've got three more. First up, Seth freaking Rollins. He's at number 3. Look, man, this guy clearly is having a career level run right now. He keeps on referencing wanting to go after Roman Reigns in the Universal Championship. If the idea is, hey, we're going to turn Roman babyface at some point, maybe they do that before he loses the titles. Maybe The Rock comes in, although I don't see anybody booing The Rock. Maybe The Rock comes in and the rest of the bloodline turn on Roman Reigns to sort of be the family to The Rock. And then Roman Reigns is a man alone on his own island, and he's able to turn babyface, but then Seth Rollins is able to come in and beat him for those titles. I don't know. That's probably a terrible idea. I don't think anybody would do that. But yeah, I think regardless of what the story is, I don't know what it would be. Seth Rollins easily. I mean, he's the only guy I think to actually have a win over Roman Reigns since he's come back. And that was a DQ win because Roman Reigns is just beating the shit out of him. But still, he got that actual win. And yeah, I think that everybody would believe it because Seth Rollins has the accolades. He's got the pedigree. I mean, the credentials pedigree, not the move pedigree, which she has that as well. Let's move on. Number 2 is the guy that everybody thinks that is going to take the title off Roman Reigns, and that's Cody freaking Rhodes. He's gone right now. When he comes back, he's going to be bigger than ever because everybody's going to remember. They're going to replay that footage over and over again from Hell in a Cell when he showed up with the torn pec rather, and beat Seth freaking Rollins in Hell in a Cell. It wouldn't shock me if he won the Rumble and had a feud with the Bloodline leading up to Mania. Maybe on night 1 of WrestleMania, we get Roman versus Rock. Roman beats The Rock. He gets that Rock rub right there. And then he carries it into night 2, where the winner of the Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes, faces Roman Reigns. And then and that's where he beats Roman Reigns, and everybody celebrates. And the Bloodline, meanwhile, lose to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The Usos do their tag titles, which brings I think that's what's going to happen. Or something like it, I think it's going to happen. You got 2 nights of WrestleMania. Would they sacrifice a women's title match in the main event of a WrestleMania for this? I kind of hope they wouldn't, but they could always do the thing where they say there was multiple main events. They could do that, but I don't know. If they did 2 Roman matches at WrestleMania this year, which is entirely possible, yeah, they'd probably both main event. I don't want to get into that conversation. Anyways, let's move on. I think that's the one that's going to happen. But the one that should happen, that absolutely should happen, is Sami Zayn. And here's why. There's 2 reasons why. Well, there's 3 reasons why. Number 1, he'd get the biggest reaction. As much as I love Cody Rhodes and I love him, Sami Zayn has been on this journey. He has been there the entire time, from when he started courting the Bloodline and weaseling his way in to just being persistent and winning over Jimmy, now winning over Solo Sikoa, Jay always being that one element that wants to eject him from the group, Roman Reigns embracing Sami Zayn, but we all kind of know deep down that eventually they're going to jump him out of the group, and it's going to be heartbreaking. The other night on SmackDown, when it looked like it was happening and Roman Reigns gave him the honorary Uce shirt, oh my God, that was nuts. Sammy's been there the entire time. If he beats Roman Reigns for the titles, you will never hear a bigger explosion. You will never hear a bigger crowd burst out. That would be absolutely huge if that happened. Another reason why it's in the realm of possibility, Paul Heyman kind of likes those stories. You can go back to ECW and Mikey Whipwreck, where he basically won the ECW world title. I think he might have had it for like a couple weeks or a month or something like that before he eventually came off him. But he won it, and it was a big deal because Mikey Whipwreck was everybody else. He was the proxy for the ECW fan. And isn't that the thing that you want the most? You want to believe, hey, somebody like me could do this. Clearly, it won't be me. I can, barely go for a 3-mile walk without my legs just absolutely killing me. I did that today. Anyways, no, Sami Zayn. I find it difficult to believe that they would tell this long story. And hey, maybe the tag titles are going to be the thing with him and Owens against the Usos. But they tell this long story with Sami Zayn, and the crowd, every time he shows up on TV and he's got a microphone, you hear the crowd, Sammy, Sammy, Sammy. And Roman starts to look around. And it's like they're cheering for him, not me. And if he was the guy, they're building up Sammy in this way. If you make him the guy, but yeah, like I said, Paul Heyman kind of likes these stories. Mikey Whipwreck. There's probably others during his run on SmackDown as head of creative. But who doesn't love a true underdog story like this? And Sami Zayn, you could track his history back to NXT when he was the underdog back then. And then hell, maybe after he wins those titles, let's say him and Owens win the tag titles from the Usos night 1, and then night 2, Sami Zayn beats Roman Reigns for the main title, and they reenact Kevin Owens' debut in NXT. He takes Sami Zayn and he power bombs him on the apron, and then he's the guy who takes those titles off of Sami Zayn right afterwards. You could tell that story again and make Owens like the biggest heel in the company. I think there's a million ways you could do it, but I think it's the one guy that would get the biggest reaction out of anybody would be Sami Zayn. he's probably the best wrestler they have on the roster, the actual best in-ring performer they have on the roster. Character-wise, he does better work than anybody else. Is it believable? That is important. I don't know. But I feel like he's the type of wrestler who could tell that story where it would be believable. So yeah, anyways, I think Sami's the guy. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes. Should be Sami Zayn. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks so much. Check out this video right here. You know what? There's something also. I started selling these Steve Thunder shirts. It's two-sided. You got this guy right here. Because I noticed, when you go to the mall or whatever, you see how people are doing shirts these days. They got something on the front, and then the people are like, what's that? You got that on the back. Look at that. Anybody want some peaches? So you get this. You get a little Steve Thunder sticker right here. And then you got this double-sided postcard. It says, you want some peaches? You get that all right there. And it's available right now. Shirt sticker pack. You can get it on the thing. mfshophere.com. Go check that out if you want one of those things. I only got 50 of them. Between 5 and 15 of each size. So if you're going to get it, get it soon because they might sell out. So yeah, check that out. And then also check out, this video, right? I'll put it up right now. This video, Rob edited together all 10 episodes of Steve Thunder's My Career Mode, My Rise. And we just shoved them all into one video. You can sit back, have some barbecue, and watch some Steve Thunder all in one sitting. It's been a great run. I'm going to do a lot more Steve Thunder. In the meantime, you can get this shirt sticker pack, this postcard thing. So check that out. Check out this video. I'm saying, damn the algorithm. I'm going to start doing shit that I like here. The algorithm will be fine. And whenever CM Punk gets released, I'll do a video on that, and then I'll do a bunch. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.